Hearing Yi Young's words, Yang Huikan suddenly felt afraid, but still tried to play dumb. What? What are you talking about? His hands trembled so badly he could barely hold his chopsticks. Jin Young quickly leaned forward, worried. Are you all right? You're not feeling unwell again, are you? At that moment, Yun Yi Young asked coldly, Do you like gambling? Yang Huikan immediately denied it. I don't like those filthy games. But Yi Young pressed further. Then what did you talk about with Park Ji-yeon-tae? Startled like he'd been jolted, Yang Huikan rushed to defend himself. I didn't say anything. Nothing at all. Yi Young's eyes narrowed. Didn't you just claim you hated gambling? Then how did you come to know the mayor of the casino? Again, Yang Huikan stammered. I told you, I didn't say anything. Watching Yi Young's relentless questioning, Shicheng couldn't help but feel thankful that he was Yi Young's teammate. At the same time, it only confirmed his suspicion. Yang Huichan really did have some kind of connection with Park Ji-yeon-tae. Then, Jin Young tried to speak up for him. Yi Young, who would have thought someone who practically lived in the casino could actually have a partner, and even bring him here to this kind of occasion? Yi Young gave a faint smile. Yeah, I didn't expect it either. His sister added with a sigh. What a pity. If father were here, he would be so happy. At those words, Yi Young froze. His hand tightened around the glass, grip so hard it trembled. The next second, crack! The glass shattered in his hand. Everyone flinched in shock. For a moment, it looked like Yi Young was about to lash out. His eyes glinted dangerously as he sneered. Yeah, father would definitely be happy. After all, even if I ate a human alive, he would still congratulate me for becoming an overseer. Shicheng's heart jumped. The tension was suffocating. He rushed forward, alarmed. Emergency kit! Someone bring an emergency kit over here! But across the table, Yi Young's family members had already backed away, keeping their distance as though he were a monster. Seeing this, Shicheng was stunned. So unreliable. Every single one of them. He quickly pulled Yi Young outside and began disinfecting his wound. After wrapping it up carefully, he frowned. If you're angry, you could have just thrown the glass away. Why did you have to crush it with your bare hand? It was clear Yi Young's pheromones were still unstable. If it continued like this, it might even trigger pheromone shock. Yi Young leaned against him, rubbing affectionately like a spoiled pup. Are you worried about me? Of course I am, Shicheng snapped softly. How could I not worry? You're clearly in pain. Let's just go home. Don't think about anything else right now. You need to rest. Obedient for once, Yi Young nodded, on the way back, seeing Yi Young still looking unwell. Shicheng asked, Do you want to change back to your original form? Yi Young shook his head firmly. No. Even in that state, he still had the audacity to be cheeky. Shicheng wanted to scold him. Why can't you just admit it when you're hurting? Wouldn't it be easier? When they finally opened the door, Shicheng froze in surprise. Whoa, it's snowing! His eyes lit up instantly. Walking with Yi Young through the falling snow, he couldn't help but feel happy. Meanwhile, Yi Young's mind conjured the image of his pup bounding playfully through the snow, and his own lips curved into a smile. For the first time that evening, the heaviness seemed to lift. Noticing the smile, Shicheng thought, at least he's calmed down a little. Just then, Yi Young crouched down and began scooping snow into his hands. Alarmed, Shicheng rushed over. Hey, what are you doing? The bandages are already soaked through. The next second, Yun Yi Young shaped a snowball into the form of a puppy's head. Tada! The true form of my beloved. Shicheng was instantly annoyed, scooping up a pile of snow and throwing it at him. You big brute with only a huge body! Yund. Yi Young stepped forward, pulling him into his arms. Are you mad? Suddenly, Shicheng's clothes fell to the ground, and in the next moment, he shifted into his small dog form and dashed away. Running freely across the snow felt incredible. But then, hearing movement behind him, Shicheng turned his head and saw that Yun Yi Young had also shifted into his true form. charging straight toward him. Xicheng sprinted ahead as fast as he could, but the wolf quickly caught up. The two, one wolf and one dog, played joyfully in the snow, Yun Yi-young doting as he licked him with his tongue. Their howls echoed in the winter air. At one point, Xicheng clamped his teeth onto Yun Yi-young's tail and refused to let go, no matter how hard he shook him off. Eventually, Yun Yi-young copied him with a playful woof. Seeing this, Xicheng smirked. "So you're surrendering, huh? Fine, I'll let you off just this once." But the moment he released him, he was immediately bitten back. Yun Yi-young pinned Xicheng against his body, then lay down with him to admire the snowy scenery together. Xicheng sprawled across his warm, soft body, feeling incredibly comfortable. Yun Yi-young seemed much calmer now, and Xicheng kept rolling, around on top of him. He was so big, if only his own true form could be that large. Yun Yi-young glanced at the little dog on his back and noticed him staring. Caught, Xicheng flushed in embarrassment. "What are you looking at?" Yun Yi-young only responded with a tender lick, then gently picked him up by the scruff. Xicheng tilted his head in confusion. Where was he taking him? The wolf gathered strength and leapt high, clearing a cliff in one bound. Xicheng nearly fainted. Too high! Soon, Yun Yi-young carried him into a hot spring. "Warm yourself up, little pup. Your body is so cold." Xicheng turned to look at him. "You're the one who's injured, and you're still worried about me." He nestled closer, as they soaked together in the steaming water. After a while, Xicheng asked, "What do you plan to do about Yang Huichan?" In truth, he wanted to ask about his father, but after what had happened at the dinner table earlier, he was afraid mentioning it might trigger Yi-young's pheromone shock again. Instead of answering directly, Yun Yi-young gave him a gentle kiss. "He has to pay the price. After all, he dared to lay a hand on my little dog." Xicheng frowned. "And the mayor? You're just going to let him go?" "If he gets in my way, that's even better," Yun Yi-young said coldly. "It'll give me the excuse to deal with him too." Hearing this, unease crept into Xicheng's chest. "Yi-young, how about the two of us go somewhere far away? Just us. A place with no one around, where we can really rest. At least until your body stabilizes." Deep down, he knew. Both of them were canines. Protecting one's pack was instinct, something neither could ignore. Just like he himself couldn't blame his parents for abandoning him. Even if Yun Yi-young now saw his sister as an enemy, Xicheng knew it must be painful. He didn't want to see him fall apart. At that moment, Yun Yi-young murmured softly, "Little dog, do you know? Even if it's just for a day, I'd like to lay down my guard and simply sleep peacefully with you." Xicheng blinked. "What are you talking about? We already sleep together every night." "No." Yun Yi-young shook his head. "It's not like that. Darling, you have nightmares every single night. You whimper in your sleep, saying you're not in pain, begging them not to leave. Every night you dream of being abandoned. I know how much it hurts you. How could I possibly sleep soundly while you suffer?" His voice grew firm. "So wait for me, little dog. Once everything is settled, we'll go someplace with no one else around. And then, finally, we'll rest properly." Hearing this, Xicheng's eyes grew wet. Why didn't I realize it sooner? The one Yun Yi-young wanted to protect wasn't his family, it was me. After bringing the pup back, Yi-young straightened his clothes, glanced at the already sleeping puppy, and his lips curled into a tender smile. Leaning down, he pressed a soft kiss to him. "Rest first, little pup." Half asleep, Xicheng opened his eyes, just in time to see Yi-young leave. He frowned in confusion. Where was he going this late at night? Sneaking out so quietly? It must be for his work as a monitor. Does he not want me to see that side of him? Xicheng hopped off the bed, opened the door, and trailed after him, worry stirring in his chest. Would Yi-young run into danger? What if he regretted leaving him behind when he came back? If he truly liked me, he should keep nothing from me. Suddenly, someone appeared behind him. What's this? Shicheng turned with clear impatience. What the hell are you asking? First time seeing a fighting dog? The man blinked, startled when he realized it was just a small dog. At first glance, he'd thought it was a crumpled ball of paper. But the face, it bore some resemblance to Yi Young's. That was when Shicheng recognized him. Yoon Jung-young, Yi Young's second brother, the one who had glared daggers at him during the banquet. Jung-young sneered and gave him a light kick. What a useless dog. Doesn't even know how to act cute. Shicheng bristled with fury. So this bastard thought he was just some ordinary pup? But how had he even gotten in here? Just then, Yongpei appeared. Jung-young told him casually, I'm just out for a walk. Don't bother monitoring me so closely. Shicheng barked sharply at Yongpei, asking what the hell was going on with this guy. Yongpei made a quick hand gesture in response. He's just a weakling. At that, Shicheng's fear evaporated instantly. Go ahead, Hyung. I'm fine. When Yongpei left, Shicheng stayed where he was, pretending to be just another harmless dog, waiting for Jung-young to move on. But in the next second, Jung-young suddenly scooped him up, glancing around furtively before carrying him away. He brought him to a secluded spot. Shicheng growled furiously at him. Jung-young, unfazed, pulled out a pack of snacks from his pocket. Faced with food, Shicheng decided to at least take a bite. Watching him munch, Jung-young chuckled. You're really cute. When I have kids someday, I'll make Yi Young give me one just like you. Hearing that, Shicheng was speechless. If he had a child, that would be Yi Young's nephew. How the hell could he just give him one? The constant petting only made Shicheng more irritable. He snapped and bit Jung-young's hand. Jung-young hissed, yanking his hand back. Then his expression shifted slyly. Do you like riddles? How about one about a mad wolf? Guess who this wolf is? He began his tale. A long time ago, a frenzied wolf was born. His father isolated him, forcing him to train alone. The training was harsh, but he endured it because he had 3 wolf companions who promised to run away with him one day. But then he learned the truth. Those friends were nothing but spies his father had planted. They had always feared him. And of course they would. He was a wolf who could lose control at any moment, lashing out and attacking others. When their deception was exposed, the spies tried to kill him to save their own lives. That enraged the frenzied wolf. Do you want to know what happened next? He tore off their arms. Later, after becoming a monitor, he personally dragged his father down from his seat in the palm and killed him. He slaughtered the friends he had known for 4 years and the father who tried to tame him. So, who do you think this man-eating wolf is? Listening to him, Shicheng knew instantly. Jung-young had guessed he was Yi Young's mate. Thinking about Yi Young, who still suffered from pheromone shock and pain, and hearing his own brother speak so venomously about him behind his back, Shicheng's anger surged. Jung-young reached out, tapping Shicheng's nose with a mocking grin. Don't bare your fangs so easily, otherwise you might be eaten up next. The man felt just like those loathsome gamblers Shicheng had met before. Disgust bubbled in his chest, and he turned away, refusing to even look at him. But then, Jung-young tossed a small package into his lap. What I want from you isn't much. Shicheng opened it and saw money inside. His ears perked up despite himself, curiosity stirring. Jung-young's voice was low and smooth. From now on, just report Yi Young's movements to me. Tell me if he's still monitoring the family. That's all I ask of you. Judging by the offer, it was about 20 million won. Shicheng just sprawled out with a face full of disdain, yawning. Jung-young was immediately infuriated. Fine. If it's not enough, I'll add more. And every time you give me intel, I'll pay you 2 million. But seeing the puppy's same unbothered expression, Jung-young realized he had no leverage. In the end, the deal was struck. The verbal contract sealed. All of Jung-young's energy and tricks evaporated. How could a mere puppy love money this much? Final contract terms. Contract sum raised from 20 million to 40 million. Each piece of intel paid at 5 million. Then Young stood up.
Just use the number on this envelope to reach me, but it has to be once every half month. At that moment, Xicheng's eyes shone only with money. He waved him off impatiently. You can get lost now. Jungyang repeated insistently. It must be every
half month. Today was just a chance encounter, just a greeting. Remember, monitors are most sensitive to betrayal. He was so long-winded that Xicheng nearly cursed out loud.
I know, just hurry up and scram. But after only a few steps, Jungyang turned back to glance at the puppy. That butt really is too cute. No, I can't let myself think that. Even if the monitor finds out about this deal, he can't easily lay hands on me. The one who'll take the fall will be the traitor, the little mutt who betrayed Yun Yi-young. He'll be executed in my place. Back home, Xicheng hummed a tune while counting stacks of bills. Next to him, Yongpei frowned. Where'd all that money come from? Xicheng said lightly. Yi-young's older brother gave it to me. Yongpei was baffled. Did you make some kind of deal with him? Xicheng casually explained that every so often he'd have to report on Yun Yi-young's situation. Yongpei's face hardened. You do realize this is an act of betrayal against the Li clan, don't you? Xicheng blinked. Why?
I'm going to use the money to buy Yi-young good food. Yongpei pressed, didn't you agree to sell Li family intel to him? Xicheng shrugged. I just took the money, that's all. Yongpei was at a loss for words. Xicheng smirked wickedly. Can you believe it? Fell right into the hands of a rich, brainless fool. Lucky me. Watching him grin ear to ear while counting bills, Yongpei couldn't help sighing. You two really are a perfect match. Xicheng tilted his head. Huh? Why are you insulting me now, brother? But as he gleefully kept counting, Yongpei hesitated. Aren't you tired? Maybe take a nap or eat something, Xicheng admitted. I am kind of tired. Then he froze, suspicious. Why are you suddenly asking me something so thoughtful? That's not like you. He narrowed his eyes. When is Yi-young coming back? Yongpei muttered that he wasn't sure. Xicheng pressed again. Did Yi-young tell you to make me sleep until he returns? Or keep me here locked up? Yongpei denied it, but Xicheng grew more uneasy. Wait, Yi-young's still in this residence, isn't he? Elsewhere, Yin Yi-young summoned his sister and Yang, Hui-kan. Tell me, when you were in the restroom, what exactly did the puppy say? Young Hui-kan trembled, but finally recounted everything he'd heard with Xicheng. Yi-young's expression lit up with sheer delight, almost thrilled. So first you told him? We used to be together. And then what? You got kicked, right? Yang Hui-chan stammered. I just said I was your guardian and told him not to touch you. Ya-young nearly burst out laughing. Unbelievable. The puppy actually said he's my guardian? Their sister cut in, exasperated. Enough. Ya-young, these questions have nothing to do with the monitor's work. Yi-young's face turned cold. How is it irrelevant? Yang Hui-kan tried to kill my guardian. Hui-kan demanded, what proof do you have? Ya-young pulled a phone from his pocket. Plenty. Here's one. The site made Hui-kan's blood run cold. It was familiar. His own burner phone. Yi-young sneered. Clever of you to use a burner to hide your tracks. Too bad you were careless enough to let it fall into my hands. And its call log is very honest too. Just the Dog Tribe Casino and Park. Giante, turns out my puppy's life is worth only 1,000,001, huh? Yang Hui-kan was struck dumb, unable to speak. Yun Yi-young continued. No, it wasn't the same as when you tried to kill me before. You didn't poison him, didn't get him drunk and push him off the balcony, didn't even try stabbing me. With a knife. Am I supposed to thank you for that? Jian-young quickly stepped in to shield Yang Hui-chan. Stop circling around. Just ask me directly. Yi-young gave a cold laugh. What? Are you two really together now? And once again, I'm painted as the villain. I know you both hate me, but that doesn't mean you can lay a hand on my little dog. Did you really think making me feel the same pain you did was a good enough reason? Is that pathetic thought what drove you to this? Hui-kan froze. You still have the nerve to say that? Don't you dare compare this to what happened with my brother. My brother and that filthy mutt of yours could never be the same. Without you, my brother could have become a watcher. Yi Young, clearly uninterested in further arguing, rose to his feet. And now you're trying to pin your brother's fate. On me? How convenient. At once, his subordinates forced Hukan to the ground. Yi Young walked forward slowly. So it really was nothing more than petty personal grudges. Let's get this over with quickly. I need to be back before my little.
Dog wakes up. Just as Yi Young was about to strike, Jin Young shouted, Yi Young, what about the deal we made?
Yi Young paused, replying, All I asked was for you to marry Yang Huichan. That's it, Jian Young insisted. I'll give you something else. If you let him go and marry that dogkin instead, I will never again oppose you as the clan's head. You know exactly what that means.
Yi Young's eyes narrowed as he straightened. You want to hand over part of the ruling authority of the Pam clan to me? A noble palm, willing to concede power? Ha! Still, I suppose this is just the result of your careful weighing of gains and losses. You believe that if I marry outside the clan, I'll suddenly become obedient, don't you, sister? His gaze darkened. Yang Huikon tried to kill my partner, who has done nothing wrong. If you want me to spare a criminal like him, then at least offer a condition that will satisfy my little dog. Jian Young's voice rose in anger. All this for the sake of some dogkin. Yi Young's smile vanished. Watch your mouth.
The next instant, Jian Young slapped him hard across the face. You are not worthy of being a watcher. Just like when you tore father down from the palm's throne, neither time did you act for the clan's sake. Step down from the watchers.
Seat. But Yi Young did not waver under her threat. Instead, he turned the tables, calm and composed. Sister, think carefully. Do you really believe I ever chose to become the Watcher? If I had the power to choose, I would never have killed anyone. I would never have eaten anyone. His voice lowered, deliberate. Now then, let's revisit the terms of our deal.
Just then, the door behind him creaked open. When Sicheng arrived, Yi Young immediately released Jae Young. Yang Huichan quickly rushed over to check on his sister. Are you all right? Jae Young reassured him. Don't worry about me. Huichan,
furious, glared at Yi Young. You will pay the price. He then snatched up the dagger from the ground. Yi Young staggered towards Sicheng. My dear, it's not what you think. I just wanted to negotiate with him. Sicheng cut him off. You don't need to explain to me. Yi Young frowned in confusion. Why won't you even hear me out? Sicheng stepped forward, grabbing him tightly. You're hurt, you idiot. How badly are you injured? You're covered in blood. Let me see. The more Sicheng checked, the angrier he became. He suddenly slapped Yi Young. Do you have a death wish? Can't you take care of your own body for once? Ye Young never expected that his pup wouldn't blame him. Not even now. At that moment, Huoken charged forward with the dagger, aiming straight at them. Yus Young reacted instantly, shielding. Shicheng with his own body. The blade sank into him instead. Shicheng's face went pale. Yi Young! Ya Young's pheromones erupted uncontrollably, surging in a violent wave. Huiken stumbled back in terror, collapsing onto the ground. Even Jae Young and the guards nearby faltered under the suffocating force. Shicheng kept calling out his name desperately, trying to bring him back to his senses. Yi Young, stay with me. Let's get out of here. We need to treat your wounds. Just then, Yongpei rushed in. Shicheng shouted to him. He's hurt. Yi Young is badly hurt. Yi Young fought to stay, conscious, shoving Shicheng into Yongpei's arms. Take him. Get him out of here. Now. In the next second, Yongpei hoisted Shicheng up and hurried him out. Yi Young, trembling, staggered to the door and closed it behind them. Memories came flooding back. When they were young, Jae Young had gathered her little wolf cub brothers. We are the children of the palm. That means we'll always be targets. The anti-palm faction has its eyes on us. They might even kill us, so you must never leave your sister's side. Protect yourselves.
because Yi Young resembled his sister so
much. She had high hopes for him. Yi Young, you and I will protect our brothers and sisters together.
Come, let's train. One day, their second brother caught a strange scent of blood outside a room. What's going on? Why does it smell like blood? He pushed open the door and froze. Inside, their eldest brother was sprawled on the floor, in a pool of blood. He rushed forward. Brother, are you okay? Under the desk, Yi Young was curled up, trembling violently. That day, it was his brother who was wounded. But it was Yi Young who ended up hospitalized, locked away under the excuse
of needing to stabilize.
He remained confined for a long time. It wasn't until autumn that Yi Young finally saw his father again. He hurried up to him, asking, "Can I go home now?" But his father shook his head. "From today onward, you'll undergo training as a watcher. Once your training is complete, you can return home." Yi Young didn't understand. "I don't want to be a watcher. I want to be the chief." His father stroked his head. "If you train well, you'll be able to protect the family." The word protect struck deep in Yi Young's heart. If it was, for the sake of protecting his family, then he would endure it. "All right, I'll do it." Then he asked, "Father, wasn't my brother attacked by the anti-Palm faction? What if they come back again?" His father hesitated before finally saying,
"It's already been taken care of. Don't worry." But the answer only left Yi Young more confused. Later, Yi Young began training in hunting. Even when faced with ferocious opponents, after a brutal struggle, he always emerged victorious. The nanny prepared him a delicious lunch.
"From the wild boar. Thanks to your successful hunt today, young master, we'll have roast suckling pig for lunch. Doesn't the meat smell wonderful?" As Yi Young ate, he asked, "When will the training end?" The nanny told him, "When you grow a bit stronger." Yi Young frowned. "How long do I have to keep staying in this beast form?" "Until the training ends," the nanny replied. Hearing that, Yi Young suddenly threw a tantrum. "I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore." The nanny quickly moved closer to comfort him. "Haven't you endured for so long already? Young master, you really have grown. Once this winter training ends, you'll be allowed to go home for a while."
"Just hold on a bit longer."
Having the nanny by his side truly felt like a blessing. That night, Yi Young stirred awake in a daze. Something felt strange. Why was he here? He was sure he had fallen asleep in his bedroom. There was a metallic taste of blood in his mouth His mind cleared. He noticed something unsettling around him. And a bad premonition surged in his chest. He began calling for the nanny, panic rising as he ran upstairs. In the bathroom, he found the nanny wounded. "What happened? Are you okay? How did you get hurt?" Yi Young cried. The nanny forced a smile. "I was scouting for tomorrow's training grounds when I ran into a beast. Don't worry, this injury isn't serious. Back when I was an active soldier, I often suffered wounds like this. It's nothing." But the blood in Yi Young's mouth made him feel faint. Was it the anti-chief faction that sent them after us? We need to tell father quickly. He'll know what to do. Looking back now, Yi Young realized that in that moment, he had chosen the cowardly way out. He chose to run from what he didn't want to face, and to forget. Eventually, under his insistence, the nanny was taken to the emergency center, and Yi Young told his father everything.
His father's men relayed the message back. Everything would be dealt with. Not long after, Yi Young made new friends. His father's assistant introduced them. "These children will live here from today. They'll train alongside the young master."
Yi Young studied the two boys. "Are you brothers? You smell kind of similar." One of them nodded. "Yes, I'm Yang Ji-chan, and this is my younger brother, Yang Hui-kan. We're about the same age." Because they were close in age, they naturally
became rivals.
Training was harsh, but sharing hardships quickly bonded them as friends. Still, Yi Young was puzzled. Why was he being forced to choose between protecting his people as a chief or slaughtering them as a watcher? The other three felt the same way.
So, the four of them made a pact. They would all refuse the watcher's exam together. Then came the third night of nightmares.
In a haze, Yi Young realized he couldn't move his body. Panic struck. What was happening? He struggled to rise, only to see his companions lying in pools of blood around him. His mind reeled in horror. His head throbbed painfully. Just last night, they had all been sharing snacks together. Then, his friends suddenly attacked the nanny. Desperate to protect him, Yi Young fought against them, and in the midst of the chaos, he heard one of them muttering, Why is this happening?
We're only following the chief's orders. Yi Young froze.
Something inside him began to shatter. In that moment, he lunged forward and sank his teeth into his companion's arm, tearing it apart. Remembering it now made Yi Young nauseous. He collapsed unconscious. When he woke, he was strapped down in
a hospital bed. Rage consumed him. Father, why did you lie to me? Why didn't you tell me? Your son turned into a rabid dog, biting his family and friends. Why didn't you tell me? But his father's face remained calm, unreadable. I'll give you time to recover. Once you're ready, you can leave. Congratulations, you've passed the Watcher's exam. From then on, Yi Young finally understood.
From the moment of his birth, he had been raised to become a monster that slaughtered his own kind. That was why, in the present, he felt it didn't matter if he wasted away as a useless good-for-nothing. Unlike him, his sister had risen to the position of chief. Yi Young stepped forward, holding out a bouquet of flowers. Congratulations on becoming chief, sister. Dragged out by force in Yongpei's arms, Xicheng kept struggling, demanding to be put down. In the next instant, he shifted back into his puppy form, leapt from Yongpei's grasp, and although he fell hard, he quickly got up, steadied himself, and rushed back toward Yoon Yi Young. When he entered, he saw the bodyguards helping Yoon Yi Young out. Xicheng grew frantic. Yi Young, stay awake! The guards quickly stopped him. You can't get close. It's too dangerous right now. When
one of them tried to carry him away, Xicheng nearly bit him out of pure resistance.
That was when Yongpei stepped in again, scooping him up. Please calm down. I'll take Director Li and you to the hospital. Outside the operating room, Yongpei and Xicheng sat together, waiting. Xicheng's mind kept replaying the moment. Earlier, how Yi Young, despite being so gravely injured, still only cared about his reaction. Then he caught a familiar scent.
Hello, Xicheng suddenly stood up. I need to step out for a moment, he told Yongpei before rushing off. Ahead, he saw Yang Huichan. Yang Huichan! Xicheng shouted, before lunging forward and landing a punch squarely across his face. Huichan collapsed instantly, but Xicheng wasn't done.
He pressed forward, furious. Why did you try to kill him? What has Yoon Yi Young ever done to deserve that? Hukan snapped back angrily. What do you know? To judge me like that? My brother suffered miserably because of him. Xicheng slammed, his forehead against Huikon's, his voice sharp. So what? What does your brother's suffering have to do with me? Do you think Yi Young attacked without reason?
Stop being so despicable, twisting the story, cutting out the parts that don't suit you, and playing the victim. Do you have any idea how fragile he is? If you dare lay a hand on him again, I'll make sure you regret it. Remember that. Medical.
Staff hurried over, shouting, Stop at once! If you keep causing trouble here, we'll have no choice but to remove you by force. Xicheng slowly stood, bowing slightly. Apologies. Then, turning toward Yi Young's sister nearby, he said, firmly, You're not needed anymore. Yoon Yi Young's family is me. When the surgery ended, the doctor explained to Xicheng, Fortunately, the stab wounds were shallow and have already been sutured, but his hormones are extremely unstable. We don't even know how he's still managing to hold his human form. The surgery was dangerous precisely because of that instability. The only reason he didn't go into shock was because his mate stayed by his side.
But that doesn't mean the risk of hormonal collapse is gone. His pheromone levels are still dangerously high, his body weakened. We do not recommend suppressing them with medication right now. Xicheng asked directly. Then, can't I be the one to soothe him?
I am his mate, just like last time. Yongpei immediately cut in. No, the director can't maintain reason right now. But the doctor answered honestly, that method is actually the most effective. However, without rational control, the Iki said, director could do anything to his mate. Shicheng shook his head. It doesn't matter. I'm not afraid. Don't worry, Yongpei. Yi Young could never truly hurt me. With that, he stepped into the isolation room. Through Shicheng's calming presence, Yi Young's condition stabilized. When the doctor came again to check his pheromone levels, the results showed a marked improvement. He's more stable than before, the doctor announced. He can actually be discharged now and return to daily life. Glancing at Shicheng, the doctor couldn't help but think. This pup had willingly been isolated with his wolfmate just to prevent pheromone shock. That took remarkable courage. Yun Yi Young pushed himself upright. Of course, he's not just brave. He's the puppy who loves me with all his heart. The doctor was briefly at a loss for words. Then he said quietly, the first aid kit is here. It would be best if you personally tended to your mate's wounds. Yun Yi Young nodded. I know. Let him leave quickly. Then he took Shicheng with him to bathe. As they washed, Shicheng once again turned back into his puppy form. Yun Yi Young carried him out to dry his fur, and afterward, the two lay down together to sleep. Slowly, Yi Young also drifted off. While Yi Young was recovering from his injuries, Shicheng became the acting director, caring for him while also handling the organization's affairs in his stead. Every day was exhausting. For the things Shicheng wanted to express, Yongpei was responsible for translating them to the others. That day, Shicheng received an investigative report on Park Gyeontai. To his shock, the man had taken advantage of Yi Young's injury to disappear, vanishing without a trace. Perhaps he had realized he would soon be abandoned by the Wolf Clan's chief. Or maybe he had heard the rumors that Yi Young had already met Shicheng's parents. Without a shred of hesitation, he abandoned the casino he had built and run for 10 years, fled far away, and even embezzled the casino's funds. Yongpei reported that there was no trace left of him, suggesting the escape must have been planned, long in advance. Shicheng couldn't help but laugh angrily. He may have been exiled from the clan, but he still dared to take away my fiancée. If I catch him, he's dead. Fortunately, that man didn't have many places to run. With so many prior offenses, he couldn't leave the country. Starting from Busan, the hometown Shicheng had once mentioned, they would search. Noticing Yi Young once again licking him, Shicheng nearly cursed. Stop licking my big head already! Then he turned to Yongpei. That guy is clever. Brother, be careful too. It doesn't matter if it takes longer to find him. Just stay cautious. Yongpei reassured him, don't worry. We'll handle it as quickly as possible. Also, here. He handed something over. Shicheng tilted his head. What's this? The weather's still cold. The members of the organization prepared this gift together. It's a warm-down jacket, made especially for the little pup. I'll head out now. Shicheng pinched the jacket in his hands. A simp. They still treat me like a puppy. With that, he went to bathe. Seeing Yi Young follow him, Shicheng frowned. What's wrong? I'm just going to take a bath. But Yi Young didn't leave, sticking close even as Shicheng started undressing. Daori! Next second, just as Shicheng was about to slam the door shut, Yi Young rushed in and pinned him down. You beast! Moa Shicheng shouted furiously. Late at night, Yi Young received a call from Yongpei. He first sent his location, then went to wake Shicheng. Darling, I need to step out for a bit. Can I take you with me? If you're sleepy, you can stay in puppy form and keep resting. Half asleep, Shicheng rubbed his eyes and sat up. Then let's go together. Yi Young asked, aren't you tired? You can keep sleeping if you want. Shicheng yawned. You haven't fully recovered yet. How can I let you go out alone? Yi Young smiled faintly, fetched clothes for him, and soon they were on the road. Though Shicheng offered to take the wheel midway, Yi Young refused to let him. Even so, Shicheng worried about his condition. The further they drove, the more desolate the road became, and his curiosity only grew. Is this something dangerous?